G'day everyone, and thank you for joining and watching. This is my first ever YouTube review, and it is of my new Cade 500 reef tank. I recently upgraded from a Waterbox Cube 20 nano tank to the Cade 500. It was a bit of a decision to make because I couldn't find anything really on the internet about the Cade 500. No reviews apart from two 30-second long videos on Facebook with people posting kind of fragments of their new Cade tanks. It's quite a new model. And I live in an apartment where a Cade 600 would have been just a bit too big. So when I saw the 500 came out, it was absolutely perfect for me. And I went ahead and I took the plunge. Now, because it is quite a considerable investment for such a beautiful aquarium, I thought that I would share my experience with others so that you can make a decision as to whether or not this tank is right for you. Now, first things first, obviously, beautiful Starfire low iron glass. You can see there the joints and the silicon, etc., all very crisp and very tidy. Mind you, I have to say, having come from a Waterbox Cube 20, I would say that the glazing itself is not that much more special than the Waterbox system. The Waterbox also uses Starfire glass and it is very clear and beautiful, but I think those two brands really set themselves apart from the majority of the market because of their use of the supremely clear low iron glass. Now, the capacity here is 38 gallons. I'm using the AI Prime 16. And you can see, oddly enough, that is the ATO top-off area. It's a gravity-fed ATO in the back there. I can't, oh, there we go, lift that up. I seem to be getting through 1 litre or 2 litres a day. That just sort of naturally gravity falls down into the sump below. Cade did have in their promotional material a water level indicator that was going to be on both sides of the aquarium to indicate how much water was still left in the ATO. For whatever reason, that hasn't made it into my production model, and I haven't seen it at all online. It doesn't exist. Not to worry, I'm not too fussed about it. Now, this is the aluminium and glass stand. This is actually really quite a thing of beauty. It is incredibly heavy. If I open this door here, all aluminium, all glass, so nothing can rust, and it doesn't matter if you splash salt water all over this. 6 power outlets there. I think the Cade 600 has 8. I have 6 power outlets here. You can see there, that's the control panel for my DC runner pump. This cupboard for me is going to be used as my dosing cabinet. I've organised a dosing pump, and I'll get some dosing containers to hold my dosing material. That is what is going to occur behind that third door. If I go now to the centre door, this really was the reason why I upgraded from my Waterbox Cube 20. And you can see here, that is the sump, and total capacity here 38 gallons versus the Waterbox Cube 20, which is 20 odd gallons. I'm running there a Great White 5 protein skimmer. I've got a few sponges and bags of charcoal and things out of the water box in there in the sump, just to make sure I've brought across as much beneficial bacteria as I possibly can from my old tank. These are media baskets down there, the Cade media baskets, and I've decided to fill the media basket's only 1/3 with media, and I've actually popped in a little refugium there with some Chaeto and a refugium light. I'll be really grateful of your opinions as to whether or not you think that's going to work. I'm not sure that there's enough water flow in there. That's not what the media baskets are meant for. I have to be very clear in saying this is a kind of an attempt by me to build a refugium in a tank that was not designed to have a refugium. What I might actually do is end up taking the filter media boxes out, tipping filter media in the bottom, and just allowing the Chaeto to kind of free float around in the water there. Now, if I show you a little bit more about what's happening down here, you can see the left-hand side door is providing beautiful access into the bottom of this sump, and here you can see the 2 downflow pipes. The downflow pipes took me a little while to tune in order to make them quiet. It is what I think is called a Herbie downflow system, weir system, and It took me a little while to figure out how to tune that. I'm still not sure I've got it quite right, but I am a novice and I'm very keen to tell everyone that that is the case. So please don't assume that I'm telling you how your reef tank should or could work. But for me, that's working pretty darn well. Filter sock down in there, which came with the system. I've got a little bit of reactor media down there just to keep alkalinity up at the recommendation of the fish shop. And if I come up now to the main tank itself, you can see there are two inlets into the weir, a lower one and an upper one. And if I was to open the weir itself, this might be a little tricky. By the way, this jump screen is included. It was included, it's beautifully engineered, very nicely put together, and comes with a whole lot of different attachments and offcuts, etc., and more clips, so that you can trim and shape this jump screen as you wish. I think they even provide additional netting as well. When you look into my weir, you'll see I don't have it properly tuned, insofar as my lower pipe there is acting fully as a siphon, and my upper pump, my upper weir tube here, is ever so slightly just trickling in there into the overflow tube. Now, if I had this set up properly, I would not be trickling into the overflow tube. I think I would just have the lower weir pipe there operating as a siphon, but well underwater, and therefore not bringing water down into the sump. But this is, as I say, this is my first ever sump. I'm a total novice, and this is the best I've managed to set it up so far. And it's pretty darn quiet. It's doing very, very well for me, which is why I'm not going to try and do much more. However, I'd be really grateful if someone's got some feedback that could teach me how to do things a little bit better. So all in all, I think what I would say here is I would call this probably at 38 gallons towards the upper end of the nano tank spectrum. If you're living in a reasonably compact apartment like myself, I think I personally found it totally impractical to have a fish tank that was any larger than this. But at the same time, I did want something that had a sump and had a premium build quality and a premium look to it. And also the fact that the cabinet is made out of aluminium and glass and therefore can't rust was very attractive to me as well. So I'm quite thrilled with my new purchase, and I hope that this video will help you to decide whether or not a Cade 500 is appropriate for you as well. Any comments, please let me know down below, and I'll do my best to respond or provide additional film footage if and when required as needed. Thank you very much for watching.